Hello people, Snow Crash here from Snow Crash Constructions. I've got a great little tutorial today for a mob farm XP grinder. I'm just going to freeze the video here to explain what I'm doing, because there's one important principle that you need to understand to make these things work, and that is you need to get the mob farm away from any other areas that can spawn mobs. The easiest way to do that is find a large mass of water and put it up in the sky. In this case, I'm going out into the middle of an ocean and I'm putting the main spawning structure at about level 200. Y. That's Y equals 200. From there you should be pretty right, and there shouldn't be any other areas below the water that can spawn. If you're a little bit concerned, you can bring it up a little bit higher, but then it won't leave you room to expand the mob farm. Anyhow, that's the theory on it. Let's get back to the tutorial. Now these are really good because you don't need to find a dungeon spawner. You'll need to get a platform out of the ground, and the best way to do that is to swim down and pillar up. Great trick is to use an empty bucket and you scoop out the water in front of you and it'll completely reset your air supply. And then you bring your blocks up out of the ground and you can start constructing your platform. Now, I'm not going to tutor you on how to build a box. As you can see from here, this is 3 levels with a roof. There's either 2 or 2.5 if you're using half slabs, gap between each floor. It's 10 by 10 with a wall outside of that. That's pretty much it. It has a 2 by 2 hole in the center of each floor so that the mobs can drop down. Now, at the bottom of it, you'll need to start to bring out a little tunnel. It's 3 high, 4 long. And this will carry the mobs out a little bit so that they can then drop down and be softened up for you to kill or capture their drops. So we'll just bring this out a little and I'll just show you sort of how it's done. Pop some signs along there, like that. This is actually to hold back the water and lava, because one big problem with these particular types of mob farms is the amount of spiders you get, and they clog things up, and this has a declog mechanism that will prevent spiders from causing too much problems. We'll just bring this out here, hop inside, and you can hear it already starting to work. Isn't that great? Put 2 more signs here. Drop your lava in at the top. And we'll pop some water down here at the end. 2 source blocks. Already working. Spider's dead. Zombies gone. Alright. Once you're inside, you need to put down your dispensers. Put them out in a pattern like this. You'll need 4 for each level. In this case, a total of 12. Fill them with water. 1 bucket each. Okay, now you need to hook up some rings around them like you see on the screen here. So 1 ring around the top, the middle and the bottom, with an 11 block platform on the bottom one extending out, as you could see. Put a block behind each dispenser like this, and after you've done all 12 blocks, bring some redstone to connect them all up around each ring. As you can see, pop down some dust here and some dust there. You get the general idea. We'll carry that all the way around. Next, we'll need to put in our repeaters. We might change the orientation of these later, but for the moment, point them outwards, like that. I'll give you a better look in a moment. and that'll need 6 repeaters. They're all on one tick. We'll get started with the dispenser clock. Sticky piston there, block on top, repeater into that, another block, comparator, and you'll need to get a ring of hoppers facing each other, like this. Get rid of the starter hopper and face it into there, so you've got a nice circular ring of hoppers going clockwise. Alright, we'll finish off with the comparators. Put down 2 blocks next to each comparator. And a blob of dust in the corner of each of those 2 blocks. Here, here, oh, I forgot a block, so we'll put that in. There, and here. Alright, that's how it looks. Now you'll need to connect your bottom ring to the top ring. We'll do it this way. Don't have to use wool, I'm just doing it here for observation. You'll be able to see it a little bit more clearly. Put a repeater facing outwards. That'll just boost the signal and get it up this staircase. A bit of a mistake here, we'll bring this out a little bit further. Another repeater here to prevent any signals from going back down. Change the direction of that repeater and now connect up one side of this hopper clock to the other, and that will provide our 2 dispensing pulses, one to release the water and one to gather it back. Another repeater facing that way, and the same on the other side. Bring it around, connect it up there. Staircase down from the middle ring. Change the direction of a repeater and put in another repeater here. Now we'll just hop in and have a look at what's going on. We've got the bottom layer and the top layer. They'll come on first, then retract, then the middle layer will flush. Now what this enables is a continuous spawning, so that you're not trying to flush the entire trap at once. So we've got top and bottom coming on, and now we have the middle layer. Now this is out of sync. That shouldn't have happened. We should always have a dry surface for the mobs to spawn. If I put a lever on that block there and turn it on, it will prevent the clock from continuing to operate. And the best trick to get this into sync is lock it and then pull out all the items out of the hoppers, like I'm doing here. Now the idea, the basic concept is you want to start this clock with the platforms dry and all the pistons down. Once all the pistons are down and all the platforms are dry, in other words all the dispenser water is retracted, you can then commence the clock and it will function correctly. We still have water in there, so I'll need to activate and deactivate to get rid of that. As you can just see, that has now gotten rid of it, and all our platforms should be dry, and it looks like they are. Not yet. Alright. Okay, that's sorted that out. Looking good. Now we just start the clock. We just use it with a small number of items. The more number of items you put in, the longer the clock will go. The optimum for this is about 32 items, give or take. 64 will work, 16 is a little bit too short. So now it'll start dispensing the water correctly, and there will always be a platform that's dry. I'm just checking here through these little peepholes I've made to see what's happening. There's the water on the bottom and the top. I'll just need to put a repeater in here. I'd forgotten that. Alright, bottom and top platforms have released the water. Now they've retracted the water, and we should see it correctly working this time. Okay, there's our flush of our middle. And now the middle is retracting, so that's working nicely. And bottom and top again will cycle through and give us a flush. Alright, good stuff. Now, one thing you can check is sometimes they get a bit out of sync inside. You can always just crawl inside, pop a button on there and manually activate those dispensers to tune everything up. Get to the bottom of the dropper that we'd constructed earlier, and all you need to do is just bring a tube down that's just 2 by 1, and you need to come down 22 blocks like this. Down here somewhere. Now 22 should bring most of the mobs to half a heart, 1 punch kill. If you're finding too many mobs are dying, you can always just bring it up 1 block. Tiny bit harder to kill, but a little bit more reliable. Anyway, we'll quickly fill this in and you'll see what's happening. There we go. Alright, leave a little gap at the bottom and they'll fall down and you can get stuck into them. You can even change a couple of the top blocks for glass so you can see what's happening. Like that. Now, turn on some difficulty. Now after a minute or two, you'll start to see the mobs just pouring out of that mob farm. You can go over and start killing them. Now this is part 1 of a 2-part tutorial. In the second part, I'll be optimizing this to increase the rate, have an ability to turn it on and off, and a whole bunch of really cool stuff to add to it that makes it really awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. A simple mob farm XP grinder that you can construct with a fairly minimal amount of materials that gets the job done. So I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, this is Snow Crash. Catch you later.